It's acres and move makers. It's acres and move makers. I deal with land flippers, acres and move makers, room shakers, big boys with huge paper, the newspapers. You can run but can't escape us. We winning with these flash green when they act racist. Success is so contagious. Let's go. It's acres and move makers. Welcome to Acres and Move Makers. My name is Ray.
My name is Jay.
And we are
the Acre Boys.
Today we want to talk about a topic called the power of mentorship. I know this is right up Jay's alley, so he can open up with this one. Y'all, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna just enjoy myself.
Listen, you know, this is a relevant and a subject that everybody needs to pay more attention to, right? Because when we first started our journey, actually going into business or whatever the case may be, there's been a lot of times where we started up things and we tried to actually do it on our own, right? And based off of trying to do it on our own, we only got marginal success because we didn't have, you know, the secret sauce or whatever the case may be. So with that said, we decided to, at a certain point in time, say, you know what, because our results are lackluster, let's go ahead and pay for somebody to actually walk us through and see if there's a difference. Because we always heard about these terms like, you know, go ahead and pay and you'll go ahead and get what you want a lot faster. So we decided to go ahead and take it on. One of our first mentors in our business, we were doing our tax deed investing at the time, which is what we started with, right? He told us that he was going to show us how to buy land for $50 and turn around and sell it quickly online for $2,500 to $3,000. Now, immediately in our head, we said, because first of all, when you don't have any proof of reference to these kind of things, and I've been around real estate for a long time, so is he. We flip houses, we've done all kind of different things. I've never heard of anybody saying that I can buy a piece of physical real estate, not play, physical real estate for $50 and sell it for that. So long story short, we got involved and we said, you know what? Let's go ahead, keep a white belt mentality. This is what he said. He says he can walk on water. If he doesn't do it, we know he's going to drown. So we put it to the test with our first property, $50. Sold that property for $1,900 in a little under a week and a half. So clearly, what's that called? That's called proof of concept right now. Formally, before running into him, we had no idea the land business or tax liens or tax deeds were even a thing. We even know that these things were even readily available. So once we got inside of that space and got that proof of concept, what do we start to do? Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. As soon as you got the proof already, the only thing you need to do is step on the gas. I remember one thing that he told us early on. He said, have you ever done any tax deed investing before? And we said no. And he said, good, because typically I don't take people who have done tax deed investing before. And we said, why is that? He said, it is a lot harder for me to go ahead and untrain what you already knew, the bad habits, as opposed to starting with somebody fresh. So that was one thing that stuck in our mind, right? So along your journey, along our journey, we've never been scared to pay for information. What do mentors do? Mentors do what they do. They consolidate time frame. So information that would have took you 5 years to learn, 4 years to learn, whatever the case may be. What if somebody gave you an existing format already in place that you can get the kind of results that they're getting in about 6 months? Would you think that was valuable? It was valuable to us because now, as opposed to going through everything else on our own, we didn't have to go through the bumps, the bruises, the losing money. So all these different kind of things. You have somebody actually taking you by the hand and showing you what to invest in, what not to invest in, due diligence, and just the mindset of coming out of where we were previously into thinking that things were available to us inside of that space. Because it's one thing when you don't understand your value and your worth. And a lot of times when we talk to people on the phone, consultation calls, whatever the case may be, the number one thing that's happening inside of the brain, whatever the case may be, depending on what environment you come from, that number one thing is not feeling worthy to actually have it. That's the number one thing. Because keep in mind, depends on where you're actually coming from, you have that kind of lack mentality inside of your head. That's why getting around people who have done things on a higher level from an energetic standpoint, and seeing people that are in your environment that are making $100,000 a month, $200,000, $300,000 a month. When we were working a job, we were making six figures, but now we're around people who are making the money that we were making in a year, they make it in a month. Let you roll on that from there.
So I think this is very, very vital to have a great understanding about the power of mentorship, because one way or another, whether you realize it or not, consciously or unconsciously, you're being mentored by something or somebody at all times, whether you know it or not. So I suggest that you make a conscious decision and you pick who you want to be mentored by. You pick the person or you pick the thing that's mentoring you. When I say the thing, right, it doesn't necessarily have to be a person. A mentorship can be an audio. It could be an audio ebook. A mentorship could be a radio program. A mentorship could be a TV program. A mentorship could be a book. In essence, is what you're concentrating on, where your focus is going, and what you're training your mind with, right? Clearly, when we start talking about tangible things like doing business and stuff like that, most people they can read about it, but most people need to be hands-on. So that's why they go and find a physical mentor, as a person or something like that. If that's you, if you need a physical mentor, I suggest getting one. I suggest find one that's within your budget. If there's one that you really like and it's out of your budget, I suggest saving to get to that person. Because from my personal experience, paying for mentorship will skip the line overnight. Just what it is. I mean, it's the same thing like in parallel. People pay for college and people pay for school. Why do they pay all of that money? Because they're looking for a desire. They're looking for someone to take them from here to here in a certain time frame, right? So college tell you, I'll get you from point A to point B in 4 years with a bachelor's degree in 4 years. Then it states in 4 years that you should be able to go and make this kind of money. It's hypothetically, theoretically, they spell this stuff out for you. Does it always work out that way? Absolutely not. But that's the premises behind it. So seeking mentorship from learning a new skill or trade, in my experience, it has been tremendous for us. It has helped us skip the line. I had no previous. 7 years ago, I hadn't even heard about the land industry.
For sure.
I didn't even know it existed until we paid for mentorship, who opened up this whole world to us. How long would it have took us to figure this out on our own?
Hidden in plain sight.
Forever. They say that, especially when the land business, they say the most valuable thing, you're standing on it. You're actually sitting on it. And you just don't know that it's that valuable and how to monetize it. So the mentorship has put us in position to do some great things, all through mentorship. That's the first thing. Because if we didn't have anybody that taught us how to do these things, that even sparked the idea to do these things, that opened our mind up to think and look deeper into this space, we wouldn't have been here, to be honest with you. And when people start dealing with new things that they're unfamiliar with, and you have any pushback, it tends to make you push back. It tends to make you fall back when you come up against adversity, especially when it's adversity in an arena that you're totally unfamiliar with. It's not like I could go to my neighbor or my mother or my auntie or my cousin and say, hey, can you tell me about the land business? Because they didn't know.
They don't know.
So definitely get yourself connected with the right mentors. And the beauty about 2024 is that they're abundant. They're out there. I would just say choose wisely. Do your homework on whomever you're following. Do your homework and make sure that's the right person. Make sure that their ecosystem is the space that you want to step into and you want to spend your time with. Make sure they're the right leader for you. And that's just how it is. And if they are, then whatever their price is, pay it. That's what I would say. Pay it. And in closing, I'm going to say, don't just pay it. if you hire someone to be your mentor, do what they ask you to do. Don't, because we see that as well.
For sure.
People pay for mentorship and then don't do what the mentor is telling them to do. Because it may be uncomfortable, right? Because they're stretching you out of your comfort zone.
It's going to be uncomfortable.
So that's my suggestion. Pay them and do what they tell you to do.
People always ask us, what is the cheat code to getting things done faster? The cheat code has always been paying for somebody who's already done it. That's always been the cheat code. And once you tap into that ecosystem, you'll see exactly how fast you can go based off of the right leadership and mentorship. We leave y'all with one thing, one of my favorite quotes from Warren Buffett. You know, this is for all my money motivated people out here, because we do this for money. We like what we do, but we also want to live a certain kind of lifestyle. And that quote is, "You may not come from a rich family, but a rich family should come from you."
Nice one. So like, subscribe, share the video,
comment, all that.
If you want to be mentored by the Acre Boys in your land invest endeavors, we'll love to have the right person. We're not just looking to take anybody. We're building a certain kind of community of qualified land investors that has a go-getter mentality. We're not looking for someone that we have to do the work for them, drag them in, hold their hand. If that's you, then this is not the mentorship for you. We're looking for somebody that's looking to be led and do the work themselves. Information on us,
execution on you.
So as usual, guys, invest in dirt.
It's the cleanest way to make money. Peace, y'all.